Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our Thoughts Active. Here's a breaking news. Yes, to hear one of America's most experienced four-star generals tell it, the United States will be at war with China within 2 years. Some brave prediction in a leaked memo to the 110,000 troops under the command of Air Force General Minihan highlights widespread assumptions in the US military that the country will counter a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Minihan's memo made its way on the internet before being published by the Air and Space Forces magazine in January. Said, I hope I am wrong. My gut tells me we will fight in 2025. Taiwan's presidential elections are in 2024 and will offer Chinese President Xi Jinping a reason to invade. United States presidential elections are in 2024 and it offers Xi a distracted America. Yes, Xi's team, reason and opportunity are all aligned for 2025. The Pentagon distanced itself from the memo, saying it did not reflect the Defense Department's views. China reacted angrily, warning of reckless and provocative statements. Yes, sort of criticism of his memo, which made international headlines early in the year, telling a reporter late in July it had been an international communication meant to prepare his air mobility command for difficult conditions. Prediction of the timing of conflict with China vary, but war has become a broad narrative in the national security community, according to an analysis by the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies, a think tank well connected with the military. In January, CSIS published a report titled The First Battle of the Next War on what would happen if China attempt on amphibious invasion of Taiwan. It played out a wide range of scenarios, most of which combined forces of the United States, Taiwan and Japan to defeat the invaders. But the battle the war gamers found came at the high cost. The United States and its allies lost dozens of ships, hundreds of aircrafts and tens of thousands of service members. Taiwan saw its economy devastated. Further, the high losses damaged the US global position for many years. China also lost heavily, and failure to occupy Taiwan might destabilize Chinese Communist Party rule. Senior military officials commenting on the outcome of this exercise and its assumptions included the former and present commanders of America's Indo-Pacific Command, Admiral Philip S. Davidson, who ran it until April 2021, and his successors, Admiral John C. Aquilino Davidson, said that the threat of the Chinese invasion may manifest in the next 6 years. For Aquilino, this problem is much closer to us than many of us think. One of the reasons for the belated realization that war may be closer than many expected is that the military was late in switching its focus on China and Russia, that is, large-scale conflicts. After decades of fighting insurgencies, partly from 30,000 feet with precision weapons controlled by drone operators in the US thousands of miles from their target. The emphasis on smart weapons for push-button war contributed to the decline of the military-industrial complex, which began after the end of the Cold War. Russia's invasion of Ukraine served as a sharp reminder of how much the US defense has shrunk over the years. There is not a single American factory which can produce 155 mm artillery shells as fast as the Ukrainians are using them up. According to the National Defense Industrial Association, 17,045 companies have left the defense ecosystems, and today's defense workforce is roughly a third of what it was in the final stages of the Cold War. All this does not mean that the United States is no longer the world's preeminent military power it became after the end of World War II, but it does mean that its antagonists are catching up China at a faster pace than any other. The most widely gauged measure of relative military strength around the globe is defense spending, monitored annually by the authoritative Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Its latest report shows that the US accounted for 39.5% of all spending. That is as much as the combined spending of the next 10 countries in the rankings. They are China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, Britain, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, and Ukraine. Though China does not come close to the US overall in military power, it exceeded the US Navy in sheer size several years ago and now operates the world's largest fleet of warships. Whether military spending necessarily translates into domains is a matter of dispute. A thoughtful analysis a few years ago on the Rocks, a website of expert debate on national security, argued directly correlate with military effectiveness. Tactical proficiency is significantly more important than and not directly related to defense spending. Bien, report.